Hello everyone, my name is Jailene Acevedo. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the Benjamin A. Gilman International Scholarship for your study abroad programs. I'm going to start off with an introduction and a little bit about my experience abroad and why I'm going to be talking to you guys about this particular international scholarship. So to start off, as I said, my name is Jailene Acevedo. I'm originally from San Juan, Puerto Rico, and I went to study abroad on the Gilman Scholarship when I was a junior, particularly in my second semester, so the winter semester. And that would have been from January 2020 to May 2020. Unfortunately, due to COVID, my program did get cut a little bit. But aside from that, I was still able to get the scholarship and still go on the initial half of my travel abroad program. So the reason that I'm actually going to talk to you guys about the Benjamin A. Gilman Scholarship today as a way to pay forward and bring knowledge about other sources to study abroad are particularly because I'm a minority woman. I'm from Chicago. I grew up in Chicago, although I am from Puerto Rico originally, and I grew up going to both of those places. And based on that, I have firsthand experience with what it is to struggle to make ends meet. And typically when you're struggling to make ends meet, you're more focused on providing for yourself on a day-to-day basis as opposed to studying abroad. When I was in high school, studying abroad wasn't very mentioned. It was actually not something that we were talking about in our collegiate seminar classes, but rather because it was an underfunded high school with the minority population, what was the focus in these classes was to get to university, to get to college. And that was the main goal. So studying abroad once you were already in college wasn't actually something that we got exposed to. Had I been exposed to what it was to study abroad and what it was to look for funding to do so in high school, I truly believe that I would have come to the University of Michigan with a better mindset in regards to what it meant to be able to do so, even as an underprivileged or underfunded student. On the screen, I show some pictures from my time in St. Petersburg, Russia. If you guys have any questions or want to study in Russia or any questions about this presentation as a whole, please feel free to contact me. I am a firsthand resource or contact for the program, so please feel free to do so. I do have my email on this slide, and it will be at the end of the presentation as well. So in terms of what the actual Gilman Scholarship is, per the Gilman Scholarship website, it's an international scholarship program that enables students of limited financial means to study or intern abroad. And this program, by allowing them to go to a different country, will provide them with skills critical to our national security and our economic prosperity. In other words, should you be in a position where financial constraint is actually a deterrent in you studying abroad, you are able to apply for the Gilman Scholarship, so as long as you are eligible, which will be on the next slide. There are actually a vast amount of eligibility requirements. However, the main ones I actually do have listed on this slide that you see. The foremost requirement for eligibility is to be a citizen of the United States. You have to be in good academic standing at your accredited institution, which has to be within the U.S., and you have to be receiving some type of federal aid. That can be the Pell Grant, or the Pell Grant in combination with other federal types of aid or any kind of aid that you receive. But during that time of application, you need to be receiving the Pell Grant. The way you'll actually go ahead and apply for the Gilman Scholarship is directly through their website. Once you get to their website, you'll be able to see the application portal, frequently asked questions, resources for applicants if you're an alum, which you will become, obviously, if you go. There are resources there, how to fill out the application. So there are tons of resources on the actual website, but I'm going to give you a rundown in a basic way. Is that you'll actually go to their website, you'll go to the portal, and then once you actually start your application, you'll have to fill out demographics, logistics pertaining to the aid that you already received from your home institution, which you'll most likely find on your award letter. And on top of filling the demographics and logistic questions out, you'll have to write application essays and gather your transcripts. And these transcripts have to come from every institution that you've attended aside from your home institution, which for us would be the University of Michigan. And in these application essays, what they consist of is your personal statement and prompts surrounding your interest, specifically your interest for where you want to go and why you think the Gilman is a good fit for you. What can you benefit from getting? How can you benefit from getting the Gilman? And what your future plans are. Typically, to study abroad at the University of Michigan, specifically, your abroad application will have to be sent the semester prior to the term during which you want to study abroad. So you have to pay close attention to the Gilman website because they do deadlines separately from your home institution. And the program by which your study abroad program will also have a separate deadline. For example, some study abroad programs, although they're accredited by the University of Michigan, they're going to be through study abroad agencies such as CIEE, IFSA, many different agencies. But right now, for example, the application to the Gilman is open, and it's going to be due on March 2nd, 2021 for programs that start between May 1st, 2021 and April 30th, 2022. So that's a big range, and that encompasses multiple semesters at the University of Michigan. So you'll have to be proactive and look at deadlines for your specific program. Aside from the Gilman Scholarship as a whole, the program does offer an additional source of funding through the same program, which is called the Critical Need Language Award. And this isn't going to be applicable for every applicant, but rather for those applicants that are studying a critical need language deemed critical by the U.S. Department of State. And these are going to be listed on the Gilman website. And it's not guaranteed that you'll get this scholarship, but if you do, you can get an award additional up to $3,000 for a grand total of $8,000. And if you don't get the Critical Need Language Award, it doesn't hinder your opportunity to still get the general Gilman Scholarship. So even if you're not awarded this, you can still be awarded up to $5,000 through the general Gilman Scholarship. Bear in mind, though, that if you do apply for the Critical Need Language Award, you will have to submit a short supplemental essay that's apart from the general Gilman application. And this, although similar, it's dissimilar in the sense that you'll have to also explain how you intend to improve these critical need language skills, your motivations for doing so, how you intend to use them. So it's similar, but not in the same sense in how you explain it. And more information on this essay specifically can be found on the Gilman website. Now, in addition to the General Gilman Scholarship and the Critical Need Language Award, the Department of State also offers the Gilman-McCain Scholarship. And this is similar to the General Gilman Scholarship that I had explained prior. However, this is specific to children of active duty parents. And in order to qualify for this, you have to be a dependent on federal forms and federal taxes of the parent for which you're claiming through this scholarship. You can also apply to the Gilman-McCain Scholarship and apply to the Critical Need Language Award. But again, in this sense, the Gilman-McCain Scholarship is now replacing the General Gilman Scholarship, and the Critical Need Language Award is supplemental. Because the Gilman Scholarship is competitive, there are many underprivileged students who apply, and everyone is encouraged to apply if you fit the criteria. You still should apply for your federal FAFSA. The University of Michigan offers various sources of funding for study abroad aside from the FAFSA. So you can check with the LSA Study Abroad Scholarship, your federal aid, as well as your study abroad agencies might also offer scholarships specific to their programs and their funding. Now, on this last slide, I've left my contact information. I am going to be the class of 2021, but I will still have access to my email if there are any questions that arise. There is also the LSA Office of National Scholarships and Fellowships, and each program through that website has its representative for future study abroad opportunities. And then, as I mentioned before, there's the LSA Study Abroad Scholarship specific for the LSA University of Michigan students for your study abroad. Nonetheless, I wanted to go through this presentation as a way to be a source for underprivileged students who come to a university for the first time, our first generation students who have never been able to leave the country, who have never gone abroad before, who think that these opportunities are limited to people who are more wealthy. And it's not always like that. So the Gilman Scholarship is in place to meet those needs so that income isn't the deterrent in your study abroad opportunities. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Thank you guys for having me and watching this video.